Hey, everybody. Good evening. Happy Tax Day. Or in the case of some of you, it's Happy Extension Day, right? Okay, I know they changed the rules this year. This isn't even Tax Day, right? All right. I want everybody please to say hello in the comments. Please let us know you're here. Say hello to each other. Make this a networking meeting. This is the April 15th meeting of the Flipping America RIA. And the RIA launched in January of 2020, for those of you that are just tuning in. And as of today, we are 30 chapters across the country with over 10,300 members in our meetup groups, and that's pretty exciting. Now, if we can just get you guys to join the association where you're actually paying a little bit, that'd be great. But we're glad you're here. Thank you for joining us. It's really great to see you. We just launched our YouTube channel about a month ago, and we've had tremendous growth in the first month. It's not hard to have tremendous growth when you're starting with nothing, right? So anyway, good to see you. And thanks to Jake Gamper for all the work he's doing putting the YouTube channel together. You're seeing some differences in the way things look and all of that. And that's because we've got smart young people helping us figure these things out, right? Okay, well, good to see you. And I want you to think a little bit about your circumstances, okay? Because in a minute, we're going to do the Flipping America Pledge. And there's a line in here that talks about your circumstances. I know that you are carrying a heavy load. I understand. And I hope that you never think that I'm being insensitive to the load that you're carrying or the burdens that you have. And it's just a minute. I've got to go over here to my computer and turn on the do not disturb so I don't get the emails and all this stuff coming in. All right. I know that you have issues that you're dealing with. I know that you have struggles. Some of you, we just did a coaching call, and we have a coaching client who's just out of money. And life gets really stressful in a hurry when you run out of money. I understand. Been there, done that. You've got circumstances. Guess what? I have circumstances too. We all have circumstances. But have you ever met somebody and said, "How you doing?" And they say, "Well, pretty good under the circumstances." I've never actually said this to anyone, but I have wanted to say, well, what are you doing under them? That's why there's a part of the pledge that says, you've got circumstances, I've got circumstances, we all have got circumstances, but you won't find me under mine. Now, I know that the way the pledge is written, we don't use the correct grammar. It's because I'm trying to, when I lived in Columbia, South Carolina, I don't mind admitting this, I went to an all-black church. And the pastor, I asked him one time if I wanted me to call him African-American. He said, no, man, that's a silly thing. Well, it's just black, and you're welcome here. And so my wife and family and I attended this all-black church for a while, and I was enthralled with what we learned there, what we heard there, and I just enjoyed being part of it. And Pastor Green was a wonderful man and truly a good friend. And he would get in a kind of a rhythm. And I hear Pastor Green saying this, you got circumstances, I got circumstances, we all got circumstances, but you won't find me under mine. In fact, that might be where I first heard that expression, come to think of it. Anyway, that's the thought I want you to have in your mind as you listen to this part in the pledge about the circumstances. We all have them, but whether you're under them or not is your decision. Here's the pledge.
When I look in the mirror, I see the reason, the credit for my successes, the blame for my failures. I cannot make it without my team, and I tell them often. But when they succeed, it's because I chose well and I led well. When they fail, it's because I did not choose or lead well. I am the reason. I may have setbacks, but I cannot fail if I don't ever give up. You got circumstances. I got circumstances. We all got circumstances, but you won't find me under mine. My situation will not dictate my emotion. My circumstances will not control my results. External forces will not take away my power to choose. I cannot change the world, but I can change me and the way I relate to it. So I charge on. I am the reason. I have a massive vision, which creates massive pressure, leading to massive action, which is the only chance I have to achieve massive results. The world doesn't owe me success. God doesn't owe me success. No one is going to work for my success. Therefore, no one will work harder for their success than I will for mine. I will give my all and then a bit more. So tomorrow, my all will be more.
All right, what the pledge is really about is it's just a pledge to ourselves that we're going to take responsibility for our lives. And I hope that as we go through this, and I'm not always going to play it, but I'm going to play it for a few more times, maybe another month or so we get used to hearing it, because these are the words, and where this really came from is these are the words that I put into my brain when I'm having a bad day. So it helps me. It helps me to pick myself up. It helps me to stop feeling sorry for myself and to get my head right where it needs to be. So then my actions will follow, and I do the right things to take action and create the life that I'm looking for. All right. So this is the Flipping America RIA, which is just a part of the Flipping America brand. And I'm going to go through the announcements here if I can get the screen to cooperate. It always cooperates if I hit the right button, but sometimes, there's a lot going on here. I'll figure it out one of these days. This is our topic tonight. Benson is here. He's in the green room. He's waiting. And we're going to talk about finding deals on the MLS. And we've got some pretty exciting news, right, Benson? Your mic is on, I think. I don't know. Maybe it's not. But something really exciting is happening in May with Privy. And you'll be among the first to hear. This is next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, I'm going to deliver a talk about getting your head in the game. And this is a part of a new course we have coming out called Unreal Estate, Making the Most of the Land Between the Ears. And I'm going to take off with a story that happened to me during my college basketball playing days. I won't tell you how many years ago, but just to say they didn't have 3-point shots in college basketball when I played. That was a long time ago, right? Anyway, I've got a story. We just came through the NCAA tournament, and so I'll tell the story. And I'm going to talk to you about how to get your head in the game. Our coach told us to get our head in the game, but he just yelled at us. He didn't really tell us how. I'm going to talk about the things that are holding us back, limiting beliefs, and what to counter with to win, to truly get your head in the game, to argue with yourself sometimes about where your head is at. Because really, you can't be successful in life and business if your head's in the wrong place. And I meet so many people that say certain things and do certain things that are destructive, self-destructive, hurtful, a little bit mean, sometimes a lot mean. And I think to myself, well, what's going on in their brain that makes them act that way or say those kinds of things or do those things? Let's talk about the brain. If we can get the brain in the right direction, we can get a lot of our businesses and activities in the right direction. And I don't consider myself a master of that, but I am a person who has overcome a few things in my life. And we're going to talk about it next Wednesday at 12:30. Get your head in the game. Next Thursday night, unsecured business lines of credit with Bill Jennings. Bill kind of popped in and visited with us a few months ago on a Wednesday. And I said then, man, we got to have you come back and do the full presentation. He has a marvelous way of helping use your good credit and your credit standing and getting you access to a ton of capital. And so that's coming up next Thursday night. If you have an Alexa-enabled device, one of these or one of the other ones, you can just say, Alexa, play the podcast Flipping America. Try it when you get home, or some of you are at home, I guess. Try it now. No, don't do it now. Do it later when we get off. But it works. It will play the last show that we published on Flipping America. I'm always amazed. I wish that we had been so clever to think of how to do that, but we didn't. Alexa just does it automatically. Flipping America is the brand, and we're doing so many things. Just to remind you, first of all, it is a coast-to-coast radio show, AM and FM stations across the country from Jacksonville, Florida, all the way to Long Beach, California, 3 times a week, Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. And yes, we're still doing radio, and radio still is a thing, believe it or not. But in January of 2019, we also turned it into a podcast, and I don't really know how the breakdown is. I think more people still listen to us on the radio than the podcast, but the podcast is gaining ground and doing pretty well. And for a minute there, we were ranked in the top 150 Apple podcasts. And so that's good. I don't know where we are now. I haven't looked lately, but glad to be doing the podcast and reaching more people. Then in January 2020, we formed the Flipping America RIA. It's an outgrowth of our local just hanging around and talking. And I'm looking at the comments now, and there's not any hanging around going over here. So everybody say hello in the comments. Tell us where you're from. Tell us what you're looking for in real estate and how we can help you grow your business. That's what we're here for. And then after the RIA, we are soft launching right now the Flipping America Academy. I'll say more about that when it becomes a real thing. But online courses leading toward a sort of a formalized education in real estate investing. The Buyers Club is up and running. We've got over 70 members. We're on our way to 300, maybe 400 members before it's all over with. I don't know. The membership will stop when we find that we cannot find enough deals for all of our members to buy. So we heard about the Buyers Club yesterday. We'll talk more about it later on. You can always look for the Buyers Club information on the website. This is a done-for-you investing service where you're really just investing in cash flow. We won 3 properties today. Pretty good deals. Probably just going to flip them, though, not put them in the Buyers Club program. And then the trading platform. And we've had another delay. We've got a big meeting on it tomorrow. Probably not going to be a real pleasant conversation. You know what I said? You got circumstances. I've got circumstances. Well, this is one of them. Because, it doesn't really do you any good to yell at anybody. But we're going to have a difficult conversation or two tomorrow about, come on. I'm tired of giving an announcement about when we're going to have things ready, and it's not ready. So I'm not even going to tell you. Sometime later on, the Flipping America Network is going to be a reality, and you're going to love it. I'm pretty sure. All right. Now, I want to encourage you to join the Flipping America RIA. We don't demand that you join or that you pay in order to watch this. This comes to you completely free and is thanks to our sponsors, American IRA and Bay Mountain Capital. And if you want to be one of our sponsors, it gives you an opportunity to be on our fast-growing YouTube channel, but also we'll put you on my podcast, which is listened to by over 100,000 people every episode, 1.5 million people a month. That's our latest numbers. So we could put you in front of a lot of people if you're interested in sponsoring this. But right now, you can just listen to these for free. You can come every week. No one's charging you admission to get in, but you can support the cause. You can join the Flipping America RIA for as little as $10 a month. Right there with that link, bit.ly/FARRIA join. It gets you access to archival information. Most of last year's is up. Jake is working on getting all of it up, but we've got a members section where you can access the content, some fantastic content, great interviews, great presentations, and it's all going to be there for all time. And when you're a member, you can access it and you'll be able to look it up by topic and that sort of thing. We're working on dividing that up. It's a lot though. It's 90 presentations last year and we're on track to have about 85 presentations in 2021. That's a lot of content and it's always going to be there available to members. And for $10 a month, come on, really, that's like coming to Midtown Atlanta and buying me lunch. Actually, in Midtown, you probably can't buy lunch for $10. There's a few places. We do have a Chick-fil-A here, and a Subway. But if you go to any of the actual restaurants around here where you sit down, you're not going to get lunch for $10. So for less than the price of buying me lunch, you can support the Flipping America RIA. And then there's the opportunity to network too. And it's good to see some of you actually saying something in the chat. Thank you so much. All right. I think that's it for the announcements. And we are on to Benson. Benson is here. Benson, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you just fine.
All right. I can't hear you very well. Do you have any way to turn your mic up over there?
Yeah, let's try it here. Let's see. How is...
Bring it up closer.
How is that?
Oh, now we hear you just great. I don't know what you did.
Perfect.
Okay.
I just put some magic dust on it and it fixed it for us.
All right. We do have a little video lag. I don't know if there's anything we can do about that. That's probably because you're so far away. All right. So, hey, everybody, if you have questions for Benson as we go along through this, I want you to feel free to put them in the comments. And if I see them, I will display them and I will ask Benson the question. All right. This is Benson Juarez, everybody. And he is with Privy Software. And,
Yes, sir.
Benson, I met, how long ago has it been? 3 years ago now?
It's probably been 3 years, Roger.
Yeah. And, in my position as a powerful and influential member of the media, a lot of people are pitching things to me all day, every day. And so Benson was just one of those guys. And I would say he's probably a little bit more persistent than some of them. And he just wouldn't take no for an answer, but it's because he believed in the quality of what they had to offer. And finally, I agreed and I sat down to watch a demonstration. As soon as I saw this, you guys, I knew I've got to have him on the show. And I need to help Benson get the word out about Privy, because what they do and what they offer is nothing short of miraculous. And I tell you, they have to negotiate deals with local MLS providers, and that's a miracle that you're able to do that. I don't know how you do that. And congratulations to you on the enormity of your success. Okay, you all, in the comments, tell me what movie that's from. And the quote is this: congratulations on the enormity of your success. And if you remind me later on, I'll tell you the answer to that.
I don't know the answer to that one.
It's one of my favorite movies, and my wife and I watch it every year. There's a hint. Okay, it comes around at Christmas time.
Oh,
that's when we watch
Christmas Story.
No, it's not that. But anyway, thank you for playing. But anyway, all right. So Privy, tell us a little bit about the guiding philosophy. What drove you guys to launch this program?
Well, so I've been in the business for close to 18 years now. And I've done everything from lend money to from regular mortgages to hard money. I'm a licensed agent. I'm an investor. And back during the last downturn in the market, my partner, Scott Fall, and I, we were both working in the same REO office. So we were selling properties for banks. And we got a lot of leads. We had a lot of people who were trying to find deals. And what we found is there was just basically a limit on the amount of deals that we could find effectively using MLS data, right? Even being a licensed agent, it just wasn't an efficient process. And there was plenty of opportunities. Just the process of finding, analyzing deals is still very manual, even for agents today. So we talked about it. And, I actually was moving to Los Angeles about this time to launch a different company, but my partner, Scott, really pushed this. So I was first an investor in Privy before I ever became involved operationally. So we basically went to the MLS and said, listen, we want to build this product and we need the MLS data. And this was before RETS was a thing. RETS is Real Estate Transaction Standard. It's an initiative that NAR pushed down, the National Association of Realtors, to help MLSs standardize their data. And it's really kind of a not interesting story, but the fact of the matter was they said no. And like you said, how it's a miracle that we ever got it to happen. They said no, right? But persistency, right? Like you said, that's something that you noticed about us. So persistency worked. And now we're in 21 different states. We're going to be nationwide in a matter of weeks.
That's the big announcement.
In May. It is. That's the big announcement. And we're also adding in a bunch of other new data sources. So I'm going to show you some cool stuff tonight, how you can leverage what we call investor activity. And then I'm also going to show you how you can find some deals live, and then some of the new coming soon type of data sources you're going to be able to leverage.
All right. So if I were to summarize what I know that Privy can do now, and I know a little bit about what's coming with your new capabilities, but I would say Privy uses live MLS data and helps investors understand where the market is hot and what investors are paying. And because of the before and after pictures, you can kind of see what they're doing to get properties sold. And you can find actual houses listed on the MLS that meet search criteria, which includes, for me anyway, deep discount. That's how I sum up what it will do for me. All right. And what have I missed in all of that?
Well, you basically nailed it, right? And everybody has kind of different use case for our system because our users range from investors who are doing fix and flip, using BRRRR, buy and hold, pure just rentals, to real estate agents and private and hard money lenders, title companies. So anybody that really needs to analyze a property quickly and find deeply discounted deals and basically analyze any property to see what bucket it fits into. So you got it nailed. And like you said, what you're looking for, right, is deep discounts, right?
Yeah.
That's what we specialize in, is finding those deeply discounted properties.
Okay. I really did prepare, and I put a link in here that, and that I'm supposed to be able to just click on something here, and it shows on the screen where people can go and start exploring Privy for themselves. And I am going to find it in a minute, but right now I don't know where it went. It's in this list of stuff over here, and the print is grayed out and is really tiny, and so I apologize for leaning over and staring at the screen. All right, so tell us what is coming down the pike. I mean, how did you get this thing national? I know that it was kind of a slow rollout as you negotiated with the various MLSs across the country, but what allowed you to break through the logjam and just go national? And also talk to us about what the new capabilities are.
Yeah, so it's actually kind of a bandwidth thing. So we hired a third party partner who can help us with all the management of the data. So we were doing everything basically in house, and so it was with a smaller team trying to do all that at once. Had us kind of slowly growing organically. However, now that we have more resources and a larger team, we're able to kind of grow nationally, as well as acquire a new data source that has more of the data available for more listings, sold data, off-market leads. So that's one of the exciting things about the system, is being able to actually find off-market leads like foreclosures, absentee owners, vacancies, tired landlords, zombie properties, as well as properties that have liens, a bunch of really cool stuff out there where, I think every good investor should have multiple sources of deal flow. If you put all your eggs in one basket, you're going to end up having ebbs, right, along with your flows. And it's really hard to build a business around a bunch of ebbs in a row, right? You run out of money. You don't have enough revenue to pay for all the things you need to pay for. So if you've got a blended approach and you're finding stuff off market, on market, no matter where it comes from, you can use our system to analyze all that deal flow using real-time data, but not just manually like I would typically have to do as an agent, but all powered by algorithms. So it gives you a lot of your time back, and you find amazing deals that can make you a good bunch of money if you can take action on it.
When I was talking about the capabilities of the program, I forgot. Use it, like I use Privy to run comps on properties that wholesalers send to me. I forgot about that. I forgot to mention that, but yes. As long as up to this point, as long as Privy is in that market, if it's Atlanta or one of the areas where Privy actually currently exists, but it's about to be national, and that kind of excites me. So what's going to get added when it goes national?
Well, it's all of this off-market data, as well as a bunch of new features and functionality. I'm actually going to show you tonight the beta. After we look at the main system, the one that's operational in the markets we're currently in, and I'm going to show you the one that's coming down that we're actually testing and getting ready for the launch.
All right. So you ready to share your screen?
Yes, let's give it a try.
All right. You've got to click something over there on your side, and I can, all right, and I can go, I can hit solo. Well, I don't know why it's not doing.
It says it's sharing on my end.
Yeah, but it's, all right, I'm going to assign it. I'm going to assign that to guest 2, and then I can go over here and I can let it be this one. Nope.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah. All right. Now you're on. Yeah. I think both our mics are on.
I saw that infinity thing happen where it just starts going like.
Yeah.
Actually, I really like that. I think it's really cool. One of my aunts used to have an infinity mirror, and it had lights around it, and you would look into the mirror and it would just take you into infinity. It was amazing. I used to sit in front of that thing for hours and hours playing with it. So this is Privy. So Privy it's a web-based software application. You can access it from any device that has an internet connection. You don't have to download or install anything on your computer. We also have a mobile optimized version. So if you're out in the field, you can run comps while you're driving for dollars, or if you're at a showing and you want to, pull up the photos of the fix and flip down the street and see what they did. So we got lots of powerful features that you can take on the go with you. But as this real-time data comes into our system, you're able to basically put together a better strategy on where to look for deals, right?
Yeah.
One of the biggest mistakes that investors
excuse me for interrupting. I want to put you on the spot a little bit. Hold that thought. One of the biggest mistakes investors make. But what we're going to do in a minute is I'm going to let somebody that's on the call put in the comments what city we're going to look at. And if it's a city that he covers, we're going to look at live data. How's that, Benson? Putting you on the spot a little bit.
That's great. Let me, I definitely want to do that, but I want to show how the data will tell you where to look. So if that person's in a market that's not great, right? A lot of investors fail because they're operating in a crappy market. And if you're in an area where it's really difficult to do deals, I mean, we all know that you've got a short runway in this business.
Yeah.
Where you get in and you really have to prove to your friends and your family and everybody else that this business can be done. And if you go 6, 8, 9 months with no deals being closed, that might be the end of it for you. So optimize your time, use a better strategic approach on where to look for deals, how to look for them based off of what the data says, not based off of convenience or what's familiar to you.
Okay. So if you guys, Jeanette's already said, choose me. What you need to do is tell us where you are. So that way we can find you. Just put in the comments where you are. And I promise I won't keep on interrupting you, Benson. But I did want to let everybody know. And also a little bit of putting Benson on the spot, but I know he doesn't mind because he's got a product here. Okay. All right. I'm going to switch back to the screen. Okay. Continue on, sir. You were saying one of the mistakes investors make is
they look for deals based off of what's familiar and what's convenient. They end up looking for deals where they live, right? Because let's say you're going to drive for dollars. You're not going to drive 2 hours away to drive for dollars because you may only have an hour between when you get home from work and when you have to, go to dinner with the family. So every minute you spend in your business is very important. So what we're going to show you here on the map is what's called investor activity. Investor activity are deals that are already being done by other investors. And, some of you might be saying, well, why does it matter? Like, I just want deals. I just want leads. Too many investors are completely lead driven. They're just chasing around the shiny object and they're not putting any thought into whether or not their marketing activities are going to be effective or whether they're searching an area where there's for deals where you can't make deals work because this, for most of the exit strategies, ARV, everything revolves around after repair value. And if you're in an area where no one is doing deals, fix and flips, you literally can't prove ARV, right? So now this property you're searching, the value of that home is going to be based off of sales of homes that weren't renovated, which squashes everything down. Your maximum allowable offer gets squashed, your value gets squashed, and any potential profit margin gets squashed. So how do you find the hot areas? Well, I just ran a quick search using our algorithm here, and we're not going to get into the filters too much because I want you to kind of understand the results, but it's really simple. It's just a series of check boxes and radio buttons. And then what you see on the map here is a heat map of where the hottest areas are at. So red is the hottest, blue is the coldest, and these areas in between, we're not in those areas yet. These are the ones that are coming on the new version. So I'm going to zoom in one notch, and then we're going to start to see numbers. So colors and numbers. So I'm in Denver. 858 deals have been done in the last 12 months in Denver. Now, in a vacuum, is that good? Is that bad? Who knows? Well, you want to compare it to other markets. So if we look at over here on the West Coast, it's really good compared to Las Vegas, right? Las Vegas is a market you wouldn't want to go to if you had a choice. When you scroll over here to the right, you start to see markets like St. Louis.
Well, that's a little bit of function of the size of the town, though, too. Denver's a lot bigger than Las Vegas, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it absolutely is. But look at this. Denver's a good sized market, but compared to other cities like Chicago, St. Louis, much more activity, Philadelphia. So as far as like the size, like, well, let's say you lived in, Podunk, Nebraska, right? Well, just because you're there and it's a small city doesn't mean you have to go there. Go to where the deals are at. Go to where you can prove ARV and get the most deals done. Then the next thing is, can you actually see me on the video, or can you just see my screen?
We're just seeing the screen. Do you? I can bring you in.
No, I wanted to pause it real second. I'm going to mute myself for 1 second. Okay.
Okay. All right, we're back to talking with me. Maybe he had some noise in the background there he wanted to go deal with, and it looks like you're back. Are you back, Benson?
I am back.
All right.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So let's get back into
back to your screen. Turn your screen on there. All right, there we go.
All right. So there are other markets here that are hot too. So again, if you have choice and you have the data available, you're no longer restricted by where you live or where you work. You can invest anywhere. A lot of our users are outside this country. So we've got users who are doing deals in the US, leveraging our technology. And they may never set foot here, and they're finding really great deals. So based off of this, you might put together a strategy of targeting some of these hot areas, right? So let's say, for example, we were interested in, I don't know, let's say like the Florida market. Florida is pretty hot. So if we zoom in right here into Florida, we've got now a heat map in a specific area. So if you lived in Homeland over here, you would not want to look in Homeland for deals. Yes, it's convenient. Yes, it's close. Yes, it's familiar. But that would be an approach that would not result in you having a greater chance for success. Where you're going to have the greater chance of success is in an area where there's investor activity, because this is a comparable driven business. You need to go to where your comps are at. You also want to go, if you're using wholesale, to where your buyers are at. Where are the buyers doing deals? Where are your comps located? So if you reverse engineer the process from what the result is that you want, and you go back to the beginning, you're going to have a much greater chance of success. So I'm actually going to isolate this area. And then we are going to jump in here and look at some of the deals that are being done here. Now, one of the, I guess, objections that people say about doing stuff remote is, well, I don't have people on the ground, or I don't understand that market. Well, the best way to learn a market is to look at the actual deals that are being done, right? So what we're looking at here is a map of all of the fix and flips in this market that have been completed in the last 12 months. And one of the things I like about this business is there's a plethora of education out there. There's a bunch of stuff you can find on the internet and YouTube. There's the gurus that are charging $50,000, to get a real estate education. But
there's some gurus that charge a lot less than that.
There are. And so there's a piece of this business that is kind of overlooked, and that's real estate, right? Everybody's so focused on marketing, cold calling, skip tracing, having scripts, Facebook ads, like all this stuff. And they get in the business thinking, okay, I'm going to be a real estate investor. And then they realize, I'm not a real estate investor. I'm a professional marketer, right? And this is where people kind of miss the boat, is they don't ever really learn the real estate side of the business. Well, the best way to learn that is by looking at the deals that are getting done. So every deal right here is actually completed property. We can open up any of these properties using our live data. And this is a comparative market analysis. This is the property details, along with, you talked about the comping, Roger. Our system automatically pulls comps on every single property 24/7 with real-time MLS data. So all these colored dots on the map are the comparables. The black dots are the rental comps. So if you're doing BRRRR or you're building a portfolio, you've got real-time rental data as well. And this is all live. So these are the real-time solds, under contract, active comparables, and it changes. So if this house right here actually closes tomorrow, it will move from orange to red, and it'll give you the final close price and the date, and it'll make any calculations it needs to make to give you more information. For example, when we jump into the before and after, this is actually a house that our system flagged as a deal back in December. This is what the house looked like before they fixed it up.
I love this
So
feature.
it was, not a horrible property, but it's got some nice hardwood floors you could finish. You definitely need some updating. Look at this really cool bathroom.
Yeah, it looks like they
This
won the
stuff's coming
Masters.
back.
They got the green jacket
Oh,
all over the
man.
walls.
Now they picked this up for 195 grand. They sold it for 289. So down here below the photos where it says price, they grossed $94,000. Now we don't know what they spent because there's no database out there that's publicly available that shows us investors' actual costs, right? That's on their own books. However, we can determine percentage of ARV, right? So, well, what percentage of ARV are people buying things for in this market? So all we do is we just take what they bought it for and we take what they sold it for, and they are at 67% of the after repair value. Now, in some markets, some people might think, well, I wouldn't go up to 67%. And a lot of that mentality comes from the gurus where they're telling you have to get stuff at 30 and 40% to make a deal work. But this is reality. What are people actually doing out there? Now, over here on the right are the timelines. So you can see how long the construction took. It was under construction for 64 days, 40 days on market. So the total timeline from when they purchased it to when they closed was 104 days. Now, yes, construction costs are important. You need to be able to determine what a project is going to take, but time in a project is even more important, because if you think it's going to take 60 days and it takes a year, well, you potentially just ruined your entire profit margin. And the best way to learn that is not by asking your contractor, because they're just going to tell you what you want to hear. And we know they're going to go over budget and they're going to go over on time. Just look at what the people in the neighborhood are doing. How long is it taking? You can also see what level of construction is adequate for the neighborhood. Can you get away with a rental grade rehab, or do you have to do something more high end to get the values that you need, where based off of what the neighborhood will support, right? Not what you saw on Fix and Flip show on HGTV, right? They're putting glass tile everywhere and there's chandeliers and waterfalls. Like, again, that's not reality. You want to build to the level of the neighborhood. And if you're wholesaling, right, this is even not even more valuable. It's still valuable because you can provide this as evidence when you are marketing your deals. You can show the fix and flip down the street they just closed to your buyer, and then help them kind of piece together all of the dots so they can understand timelines, and all this information here is extremely valuable. Then you scroll down even further, and we've got the street view built in. So if you're doing stuff remote, or if you don't want to drive all the way across town to look at a house, you can just look at the street view and you can get a sense of, is this a neighborhood that has good pride of ownership? Is the house across the street from a 7-Eleven? Maybe that would choose or change your decision on even writing an offer on it. Now, I told you we're adding in the public record data officially live in early May, but we're already populating much of the data right into our system. So here's the assessor data, owner information, mortgage information. If it's in foreclosure or vacant, you'll know about it right here. But here's where it gets really cool. So if you're doing wholesale, there's all different ways to build a buyer's list, right? In the old fashioned way, Roger, back when you were able to go and do your lunch, like people exchange business cards, right? And that's how you would build your buyer's list. The more modern way is you get on Facebook, and maybe you go to the area and you have like a Facebook for Atlanta, Facebook group. And they'd be like, hey, where are my Atlanta buyers at? And then, you get half a dozen or a couple dozen emails. But are any of those people really doing deals? Do they have the experience? Do they have the money? Do they have the capability of doing a deal in a pandemic? Who knows, right? Probably most of those people are actually just other wholesalers trying to get in the middle of a daisy chain. But when you're leveraging the data, you can see who closed the deal yesterday. Kruger Flooring is a company that apparently does fix and flips as well. They're the ones that actually did this deal. So another cool piece of data comes off of this. So if you haven't heard the term, it's called buy box. The buy box is a term that buyers use. And if you use that with them, they'll know you mean business. They'll know you know what you're talking about. It's basically their deal criteria. What areas are they buying in? What square feet? What kind of characteristics are they looking for in a particular property? You know what, zip code. And then at this point, all you got to do is find Kruger, doing a quick Google search or skip tracing. And now you've got an opener. You can call them and say, hey, John Kruger, maybe that's his name. I saw you just close that deal on 2nd Avenue North. I mean, the kitchen came out amazing. I really like how you guys did that. I'm a wholesaler in the area and I'm finding a lot of deals. If I find something that fits your profile, can I send it to you? And they're going to be like, heck yeah, send it over. So that conversation is a lot easier and there's less friction there if you leverage the data and the ability to do that. And you can now build an amazing buyers list of people who are actually closing deals right here in the market.
Man, that's pretty
Now,
good.
Isn't that great? Like being able to really just see that. It's great for agents too. Agents love finding these people because now they've got potential buyers. So if they find something that they can sell, or maybe they can get some listings from these people, it's really targeted, right? Now you mentioned about comping, right? So let's say, okay, here's an area that I know I want to target, right? I'm going to filter and change all of my marketing strategies to target this area because I know if I find something, maybe a motivated seller calls me off of one of my postcards. Well, all I got to do now is just type the address right in here to the search bar. Our system will build a comparative market analysis and build a CMA so you can determine the after repair value quickly. And again, the best way to prove ARV is if the house right down the street, which is fixed and flipped. And by you targeting this area initially, you increase the chances of that being true. And the comping is so much easier when the actual comp was flipped, right? The best comp that you can ever get is the house right next door to yours that closed today that was renovated. Those are the best comps. So go to where those areas are at. Don't look for deals in areas where people aren't doing that. And what this changes is a lot of different things. Well, number one, your marketing is going to be way more effective. If you find something in an area here, you're going to be able to make the numbers work. And marketing can be really expensive. So if you're sending postcards to an area where no one's doing deals yet, those marketing dollars are essentially useless. Same thing with, let's say you're doing cold calls, right? And you get a list of probates. How would you decide who to call first? Well, if you are leveraging the data, you're going to call 33713, 33705 first. You're going to prioritize your efforts and call the people that are in these zip codes first, because you're going to have a greater chance of being able to make those deals work. The next step here is, okay, great. I'm changing my marketing activity. I'm more educated on what investors are doing. I've got buyers in the area if I'm doing wholesale, and my marketing is way more effective because I'm targeting areas where I can actually prove ARV. Well, is there anything here that you can buy that's on market? So all you got to do is just switch the algorithm over from sold to active, and then put in your percentage of ARV that you want, right? So I like to create a kind of a wider net. Let's say I put this at, say, 60% ARV or better. So between 0 and 60. And then let's say I put a price ceiling of 300 grand. Let's see if a property came on the market this week. Now I'm using real data here, you guys. There may not be anything here, right? And that's just kind of the way the business goes. But let's see what's available today. So if I click filter, I go in, and now our system just pulled comps on every single property in this area. It's only showing us the properties that match our exact deal criteria. So you can look over here, and here's a house that's $109,000. Here's the house, pretty rough. They got a bit of a hoarder's thing going on here, but it's 109,000, and our system flagged this thing as a deal because it's in an area where you have comps at 195,000 and 245,000. So again, this thing is better than 60% of the ARV. So the algorithm is doing the heavy lifting for you. It's constantly looking for properties that match your specific deal criteria. And all you have to do is just set the searches up and let the system do the heavy lifting for you behind the scenes. You don't have to be in here every day. Again, this is very time intensive. And one of the unfortunate things about looking for deals is that you spend the majority of your time looking for properties that you're going to say no to, running comps on properties that you're going to say no to. Think of if you could get all that time back so you didn't have to analyze properties that didn't make any sense at all, right? Just get all those off. And that's probably 90% of all the properties out there. So when you eliminate 90% of the things you have to spend your time on, then you can focus in on the 10%. You're going to be way more effective. You can spend more time on money making activities so you can actually get these deals in the door and make the numbers work. So you can run the same search. Let's say I back it out of here. And now this is going to start to look in a larger area. So there are properties all over here that are great deals based off of being in the hot investor activity areas. Here's another one. Look at this one. This one's rough. 184 grand, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,186 square feet. Our system flagged this as a deal. And a lot of investors use keywords to search for deals. And I mean, it's an okay way of doing it. Agents do it too. But look at this: cash only, fixer upper, renovation, as is, like all the keywords you would like to see. But this thing wasn't found using keywords. It was found basically looking for the margins, right? So Roger, you wanted to find those deeply discounted deals. Here's a house you can get for 184 grand. And there are comps in the area up to close to 300,000. So these properties are out there. You just need a better way of finding them that's based off of data and allowing you to spend your time on the money-making activities, right? Writing offers, going to your closings, actually doing renovation projects. So this is how simple it can be, you guys. You can have this algorithm running nationwide. And pretty soon it is going to be nationwide, but you can find these properties all over the place. So Roger, you mentioned earlier that somebody wanted to look at the data in a specific market. Did you figure out what market that was?
Yeah, Jeanette wants you to look at Atlanta.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's look at Atlanta. So let's see here. So we're going to look at single family attached properties up to 65%, up to 300,000. This one will work just as good right here in Atlanta. And we'll zoom into Atlanta here. This is going to start to show us some of the results. And then we'll see what is actually here. And there might be something here that actually you guys could write an offer on. Let's get down in here and let's see what we have. I want to see if anything kind of jumps out at me as something that looks good. I mean, here's a couple houses. This one's 249,000. Really colorful. Cool little Rambler ranch style home. And we flag this thing as a deal because it's in an area where all these other houses are look at all these other prices. So you can get it for 249. And one of the closest sold fix and flips just went for 595. Now, I'm not great at math, but this is a property. Oh, I think I just deleted it. This is a property that looks like an amazing deal. Right? There are good comparables here. And then we can open up the Newton. It's the one that was just, how did they get to that 595 mark? Let me see here. I apologize.
I told you guys, every time he does this, I end up making offers. And this could be the one.
595, right? So 249,000 is what that price. Now they bought theirs for 240. This is 249. They grossed $355,000 on this deal, right? This is an absolute amazing deal. So I'm actually going to share this with the group. Is there a way for me to, I can put it in the chat, right? So I'm going to click share and you can share these CMAs with your team. So you guys all collaborate and be on this.
Yeah, if you can access the chat on, if you're watching on YouTube or a comment on Facebook, but this is not like a Zoom call.
Isn't there I can chat on here, can I?
That would be news to me.
Yeah. Oh, I can see the chat. I can't get into it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I can't do that. Well, take the address down anyway. 424 Green Cove Lane.
424 Green Cove Lane. Where can I put that? Oh, here, I can put it as a screen overlay. Keep going.
Yeah, and that's one of those here. But we have other sales at 490, 500. Like, look at all the supporting data that says this thing's a deal. Now, these aren't just other houses in the area; these are comps. Our algorithm uses the same philosophy and process that I would use to comp out a property that might take me 30 minutes to an hour. This all happens in a fraction of a second. And this property right here would have been found using the algorithm if this was an area that you were targeting using our software. Once it's found, it sends you an email alert with a link to the CMA. You click it, and you get your offer out.
Now,
it can be that simple.
Let's just clarify. You just pulled that from live data, and that house is for sale right now in Atlanta on the MLS.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they say that they have comps at 600K. There's probably ones at 600K, but not true comparables.
They rounded up from 595.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the comp they're using.
So we know it's better than 65% because the algorithm has already proved it.
Did you show the pictures?
Let's say
did you show the pictures of the 600 one?
Let's see if I can get in there. One second. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, they changed it into a 3-bedroom.
And if you can't turn it into a 3-bedroom, then you just make an adjustment off the ARV and you say, okay, well, what is a bedroom worth in this neighborhood? Well, maybe it's worth, 40 grand. And you subtract that 40 grand out of here. But here is the property. Now, if I scroll down to below the table view and I open up the before and after, we can see what it looked like before. So this is when they bought it for 240. This is what it looked like. And by the way, if you'd been a preview user back then, you would have gotten an email from our system in November that this thing was available. But unfortunately, we all missed out on it because there's the property.
And look at this, everybody. They turned it around in 4 months.
Amazing, right? And they priced it almost perfectly, right? Not too long. It didn't sell the next day. 26 days. I really like that time frame because it means that you get enough people in there to look at it. You're not accepting the first offer. Maybe they've got into a bidding war, but it went from $193 a square foot to $310. Yeah. This is what's possible, you guys. And this is great education too, right? Now you've got a blueprint. Now this is all you got to say is, okay, Mr. Contractor, here's what I want you to do to the house, right? All they do is they just emulate success down the street.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing. I'm really glad this was available because like I said, it's any given day. This is real data. If this thing, I might've went right into this area and found nothing, right? Which is okay because all you do is you create a search, you save it, and then the algorithm will go out there and find these deals for you. And you're just looking at the opportunities.
What do you think? Another one. This one's going to make an offer on it? All you Atlanta people, if you're here and you're in Atlanta, what do you think about this? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Benson.
It's kind of a slam dunk. Well, I'm just looking at different properties here. There's all different ones here that could be potential deals. Here's one. It's a 169. Really cool, sprawling ranch. Dated. And we flagged this thing as a deal because the house right down the street just sold for $339,000. They paid $171 for theirs. You can buy this one for $169. And again, because we're finding the investor activity, you can actually see the before and after on all these flips. So it makes it really easy for you to determine ARV, and it gives you a blueprint. A lot of these deals could be wholesaled, right? You could actually get this thing under contract, and then let's measure this thing. Let's say you got it at 170. The ARV is right around 340. This is at 50%. 50% of ARV. You could easily throw 10 grand on this and still leave plenty of meat on the bone for that end buyer.
Yeah. Don't put 50 grand on it, okay, wholesalers?
Right. Don't get too greedy. But this is 1615 Tanager Circle. That's in Decatur. So this is a powerful system you could layer into what you're currently doing. You can use it to run your comps on every single property, whether it's on market, off market. We're currently live in 21 states. These are all the states we're currently live in, and we're going to be nationwide in a matter of weeks. So this is the new software. So look at the coverage. See here, here's all the off-market things I was telling you about. So absentee owners, bank owned, we'll have foreclosures, tired landlords, zombie properties. And then you can actually zero in. Let's say we say Atlanta. Oop, come on. Then you can get into a specific area that you like, and then you can run the search based off of what you're looking for. And Roger, we actually completely redesigned this. So you can see here
Yeah,
that
it does
it's
look
completely
different.
different than what it was before. And the filters now, with one click, you can search for all these other different kinds of deals here: zombie properties, vacant, tired landlords, all from right within the system. I'm so excited to get this out. We've got so many people who have been waiting for this. It's hard for me to sleep at night, honestly. It's so exciting to be able to have the power of this system available, and I can't wait to put it in the hands of our investors, our users.
Do you still have the little circles with the arrows?
No, we changed the icon. It was a little distracting, and we wanted to give more information, so we changed the view so you could see the price
Okay.
on these instead of just seeing like that curly Q.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's all right. Hey, Arika wants to know, is there a program like this for international properties, or will you go international at some point? That's a great question.
You know, I don't know if there is one that's international. The problem with international would be is getting all the data normalized so it works the same way. Even in the US, RET's supposed to be standardization of the MLS data. It's still not standardized, even in the US.
Yeah.
And it's really challenging to keep all that information up to date and accurate. So potentially down the road, but I mean, there's plenty of opportunities there. I just got off, was on a podcast with a guy who teaches people how to invest in the US from Canada. And he's like, it's like night and day to be able to say not investing in Canada because taxes are so high. It's restrictive. It's not landlord friendly. And so he's telling all his people to invest in the United States. So you guys,
Yep.
The US is where it's at, right? Yes, you can probably do some things in other areas, but lots of deal flow here that you can get access to.
Well, I don't say anything about it, but I am reading, studying, learning, and working on an international strategy to be disclosed some other time. Arika, we'll talk about that. But yeah, well, Canada has their own set of issues, and we've reported on our show about what's going on there with the taxation and so forth. But I think that what you've illustrated here is the ability for people to be in any market, get familiar with the market, get some offers made, and get some wholesale deals done at the very least. But if you can, I do remote flipping now all across the southeastern U.S. And what did I do there? Did I hit something?
Oh, I hit stop share.
Oh, all right. So I'll hit this button. And there we are. Yeah. So anyway, I was saying I do some remote flipping, and the key really is to have a good contractor. If you have a good contractor and a good realtor, that's the other key. You can flip properties anywhere. You don't have to live there. Flip some properties in an area you like to drive to, or aren't so far away that you don't mind driving. I mean, honestly, I have never really set it as one of my life goals to spend any time in Elkmont, Alabama. No offense, all you people in Elkmont that may be seeing this. I think there's like 350 people in Elkmont, but we've got a profitable flip that, we should close any day now. We had a little issue with our first buyer, but we're back under contract at full price because that's the way the market is right now. If you're willing to travel. Hey, Do you all have any other questions for Benson? Because this has been terrific and it's been great. I want to bring somebody else in, Benson, somebody that you know, one of our sponsors, Chip Cagle.
Chip.
Yeah.
I see his stuff here. And by the way, I'm not sure if this is the time or right now, but if I put together a special for you guys, Roger, in your group, so let me know and I can give you a promo code and all that stuff when you guys are ready.
Oh,
hey,
okay.
Chip.
Oh, Chip, I've got you turned down. Hold on. All right, now talk.
Yep. Now, can you hear me now?
Now we hear you. All right.
Excellent. All right. So, Roger, I put my information in the chats on both Facebook and on YouTube for people that are on.
Yeah.
And now let's talk about one of the deals that we funded recently.
Okay. You find the deals through Privy, and then you get your money from Chip.
There you go. Yep. Give me a call. So this one was in Savannah. We lend in Savannah. I'm the Southeast representative for Bay Mountain Capital. And so right now we have all the major cities in Georgia and all the major cities in Tennessee, except Nashville, but we'll be adding that real soon. We'll also be adding Birmingham and Huntsville in Alabama. And just found out this week that in the middle of May, we're going to add Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah.
So real excited about that. Yeah. All right. So Savannah, we had a guy wanted a deal down in Savannah. The purchase price was $277,500. He didn't need a whole lot of rehab. He's only going to do $18,200 of rehab. So the total cost is $295,700. So a little bit less than $300,000. He thought it was going to be worth $410,000, but the appraisal came back at $430,000. So his loan was 100%, the full $295,700 for his purchase and rehab, and his interest rate is 9.9%. So he's going to probably make about $100,000 on that one, maybe more, maybe even 120. So I think that's going to be a really good deal.
Cool, man. All right, and now you're loaning across the southeastern U.S., right? Just opening up Florida.
Yep. Yeah, the places I was naming a moment ago.
All right. So how far west do you go now? Because we got some California people on the call.
Well, so I'm southeast, but there are other reps in Texas and Oklahoma. Those are the only other two states we're currently lending in.
All right.
All the major cities in Texas, and then in Oklahoma, it's currently Oklahoma City and Tulsa. I think that's pretty much all the major cities in Oklahoma, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Not sure.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you guys now how reaching out to Chip is like calling the Marriott for a hotel room. If they don't have a room, they'll call other hotels in the area, or they'll have a checklist. And they helped me get a room recently when I couldn't find one in Florida. If you are not in one of the states where Bay Mountain loans, just reach out to Chip anyway. He is a nice guy, a good guy, and he knows everybody everywhere, and he can probably get you set up with a loan. Am I right, Chip? Fair enough?
You are right. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm helping somebody find a loan down in Tallahassee, Florida. We'll be talking tomorrow with a lender.
All right. See? Okay. So Chip is the man. And did you put your email somewhere?
I did in both the chats, but
okay.
You can put in chip@baymtn.com.
chip@baymtn.com. All right.
That's the short version.
All right. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate Bay Mountain, and tell everybody over there I said hello, and welcome back to Atlanta.
Yes. Yeah. I was a little bit late getting in tonight because I was driving back from Knoxville, Tennessee.
All right. I'll probably get back with you. I'll probably talk to you tomorrow. Right.
Sounds good.
All right. All right.
See you, Benson.
Later, thanks. All
See
right.
Chip.
Bye.
All right, Benson. You have
yes, sir.
Every time I have you on, I get so fired up. And you know, one of the things that you've done that's so helpful is you've spent time with me one-on-one helping my dumb brain kind of get a hold of these concepts. Because watching the presentation and then sitting down later on and doing it, I struggled a little bit at first. And I'm maybe not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I'm pretty smart. I have a decent grasp of technology, and still I struggle with the interface a little bit. But you were willing to help me. Do you guys still offer that kind of help with training? What do you do for people out there who are
We do.
brand new to the program?
Yeah, so we do live masterminds twice per week. So every week, Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern, and also on Thursdays at 1 p.m. So 2 different days of week, 2 different times of day, depending upon what your schedule is. One of those will typically work. But yeah, we're really hands-on, and we make sure that everybody who uses the technology has what they need to succeed. We've got tons of free tutorials, and also live trainings. And people call in. You have a question, you get stuck, call in the office. Somebody will be able to help you out. As much as we're a technology company, we're still trying to keep that real estate feel to it, where the business where you used to be able to meet somebody at a coffee shop and shake hands. And we kind of bake that into how we work with our people. We're not just going to sell you a piece of software and disappear. We're going to be here to help you every step of the way. And I did put together some pricing for you, and I actually emailed you, Roger, some links. You can use that actually. So there's some links here. I gave you a special promo code that will track everything.
Oh, okay.
And
all right. I'm just using the link based on the link that I had before as an affiliate.
You can use that one. You can use the ones I sent you. And also I put my contact info in there because for some reason I can't put anything in the chat. So I'm not able to put anything here that would be actionable, but I emailed it to you. But you guys, so here's what I'm going to do for you. When we launch nationally, we're going to add in all that off-market data, and our prices are going to change. I'm not sure what they're changing to yet, so I'm not going to try to scare you into signing up, but they're going to change. But if you do decide you want to join with us before we launch, which is in a matter of weeks nationwide, I'll get you guys in for $720 for the year. Now, our normal pricing is $97 per month. That's about $1,200 over a year. So it saves you a good chunk of change. And you can come into the live mastermind sessions. I actually have a couple other goodies and bonuses for you. So there's a rehab guidebook. I've got a buyer's list I've been building for about 8 years. It has over 5,000 people on it. I'm going to give you for free. There's also some other education, some deal analysis calculators. So this is going to make this available to you. $720 for the year. That's the promo code. You can go there and you can sign up, and then you'll get your welcome email, and then we can connect on the next training, and I'll make sure you have everything you need to be able to find like these deals I found today. I mean, just amazing slam dunk deals that, Roger, you're in that market, right? Those 2 deals I showed you, did you know they existed?
Yeah. No, I didn't know about them. No.
Right.
It's all I can do to get through maybe 25% of the email I get from wholesalers every day. And I'm sure I missed some opportunities that way. I've got enough opportunities, but man, if Jeanette doesn't beat me to it, I may be offering on that one that we had earlier. All right.
I love it.
Okay. So I hope you all got your screenshots with all the code is FA 2021, and they can use that that link. It's my link that you gave me before.
Yep.
So, all right. And okay, final word, Benson, inspire the troops.
Well, what I would say is stop doing things the old fashioned way. Okay. There's this business has kind of been stuck in the dark ages. It's always been kind of a good old boy network, and people are still using online places like Zillow to comp, and you're just, blasting out marketing without any strategy to it. Leverage the data, leverage investor activity so you can put together a more strategic approach to your business and get a way better value out of all of this money you're pouring into the business. And as I mentioned earlier, sometimes we have a short runway on this. And if you are wasting time with scenarios where you're not actually making money and you're out there just blasting money out, you're eventually going to burn out. So I encourage you to take a chance with the software. And I encourage you to try it out because we have a 30-day money back guarantee. So there's absolutely no risk. And if you get in before we launch nationwide, you're going to get all of the markets for free, as well as all of our off-market data for no additional charge. It's going to be added right into your account. So jump in and let's start working together.
All right. Thank you, Benson. I appreciate you joining us tonight, man. It's been great to see
Thank
you
you.
again. Great to visit with you. And thank you for sharing this great information. Everybody, I want to thank you for joining us. We're here every Wednesday at 12:30 Eastern Time and every Thursday night at 7:30 Eastern Time. We take a few weeks off. We'll be off the week of Memorial Day, but I'll be giving you plenty of notice. But here's the thing I would really like to ask you to do. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe. Please hit that like button on some content and hit that bell so you get notified when we go live. Those things actually really do help us. We just launched our YouTube channel, and you can help us make it a big success by also sharing this with a few of your friends and inviting them to come as well. Thanks again, everybody. We appreciate you being here, and we'll be back again next week. I'll leave you with this.